Hello YouTube, Jerry Kirkpatrick here, and the next thing in this series of getting my disc grinder up and running properly and making the guard that goes over the top of the disc is what we'll be doing in this video. But before I could get started on preparing all of the parts, I had to make an adapter for my circle cutter. It's a Lincoln product, but it didn't fit the Miller plasma cutter. So I had to spend a short while modifying it to fit the Miller plasma cutter, and I made a video on that, so you'll see how that was made in a while. So I've got all of the parts ready to start making the shield that goes over the disc to keep the array of sparks from flying all over the place. So the first thing I've got is a piece of 4-inch heavy wall tubing that I'm going to start with. This is the hub, which all of the other parts will be mounted to, and allow the shield to be moved from one side to the other. So when I use the grinder in forward or reverse, I can take the shield off and put it on the other side. So no matter which way it's turning, the sparks won't go flying up into the air. And I've got a piece of scrap metal here that was made for something else. I'll just use a small portion of this. That'll be welded to the hub, and this will become the mount for the motor. I'll bolt this to the motor. We'll have this hub, and then we'll have these other pieces that will be affixed to the disc grinder and be able to move that top shield wherever it needs to be. The main piece that will make it possible to move the fence from side to side, or the spark guard, is a piece of 3/16 that I've already cut round as a test for my plasma cutter circle burner. So let's start out with this piece of tubing. I'm going to chuck it up in the lathe, face off one end, and then cut it to 1.5 inches width, which is the spacing necessary to get from the motor mount to the back of the disc. And then I'll cut that off in half, and I'll use only the top portion of this piece of tubing. So let's get over on the lathe and make this happen. Okay, so we've got the main piece finished here, ready to go. After I deburred it, I bead blasted it to get any scale that might be on it off in preparation for welding. So I guess you could call this the main piece. All of the other pieces are going to be either welded to this or it will be rotating around it. So with that being finished, the next piece will be the mounting plate. It'll be cut to size, radius cut in it, that'll be welded to the 4-inch heavy wall tubing. Couple of holes that'll be bolted to the motor itself. So let's get started on the next piece. So it's been just about a month since I cut this little piece out, and I haven't been able to get back into the shop because of the weather. When I cut this out, it was like 33 degrees out, and for this whole month it's been in the low 20s and in the high 20s and low 30s. So yesterday it was right around 50 degrees, which is workable. So I came out in the shop and put everything together, moved everything around, getting ready to shoot again. And today I am at 53 degrees in the shop. So that's tolerable. At least I can feel my hands, which I couldn't back then. So we're getting some rain in, and the temperatures are supposed to get up a little bit better. The best temperature I saw was next Tuesday. It'll be like 64. So you don't need to know all that. But with the weather getting a little bit nicer, hopefully I can finish the spark guard for the disc grinder. So let's get to it. So I now have two of the main mounting pieces finished. This one will bolt right to the motor, and this one, this half a piece of tubing, will be welded to that. This portion will be bolted to the motor, and then the two pieces that will be welded to the front portion of this will come out of this. This is 12 inches in diameter. So let's get over to the table and get this portion cut out. Ready. Except for the forge going. Can't hear anything with that thing on. So we've got the two 3/16 pieces done. There's the one that'll go, I guess you'd call it, in the front, and I've made the cutouts for the stops, and you'll see what those are all about later. Here's the smaller one. It will fit right like that. And here are the two stops welded on. And here is the clasp that will hold everything together. This one will go all the way to the back of the disc grinder on this bracket. And then there's the last piece here is 16 gauge. Once I get this cut out, then we'll take a break. I'll get everything prepared, and then in the next video we'll do the welding assembly and install it on the disc grinder. So here we have the last piece to be plasma cut. I did a little bit of cleaning up, and we have one more piece that has to be made that will go over the top of the disc itself to guard the sparks from creating that array. So this will fit in here. This other piece will go in the back. They will all pivot around this piece. So let me get all of these prepared for welding, and I'll get the piece that goes over the top ready, and we'll do that in the next video. And I'm sure it won't take as long as this one took. The weather is much nicer, so I think I can move right along. We've had almost every day has been good enough to come out into the shop and do some work. So thank you very much for watching. Give me a thumbs up, hit subscribe and ring the bell, and we'll see you in the next video.